Welcome to SOCKEY TALKIE, a family-friendly program that takes a look at the most popular and most played game in the world, soccer. Here's your hosts, Miacross Headerin and Scotty McFooty.
Welcome back everyone to a super special edition of SOCKEY TALKIE, the cartoon talk show of the world's most popular sport, soccer.
Yes, welcome back to SOCKEY TALKIE, and we sure did miss you all over the past few years. My name is Scott McFooty, and this is my soccer panelist partner, Miacross Headerin, or Mia, for short. Though we have been away from you, and the YouTube screen for a little while, all of you cartoon soccer fans have been in our hearts over the past few years.
Yes, you have been. And speaking of hearts, Scott, this is exactly why we have been asked, by the chat channel, on YouTube, to bring you all a special edition of SOCKEY TALKIE.
It sure is, Mia. Your heart-pumping and thumping team that you admired and loved so much during the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, that is, Canada, has finally come to life in the soccer world. They are actually waking up and letting the soccer world know they do exist and should be respected for their exciting and strong and structured play in soccer.
Yahoo! Canada sure has. I just love the way they play. And to tell you the truth, I thought they were ready a couple of years ago to wake up the soccer world. But I was wrong. You know, sometimes it just takes a little patience and maturity to grow and achieve the potential one has, especially in that nutty game of soccer.
Indeed it does, Mia. Indeed it does.
I am so very excited that everybody that cares about soccer in the world are discovering what I saw in the Canada's men's national soccer team a few years ago.
The world sure is, Mia, the world sure is. You know, soccer fans, if you want to see and hear Mia's absolute heart-pounding and loving predictions for the Canadian soccer team from a couple of years ago, just watch some of our SOCKEY TALKIE episodes from the 2022 World Cup. They are pretty hilarious, as she was pretty passionate, well, one really could say, extremely passionate, about the Canadian men's soccer team, and I guess she still is.
Oh Scott, I wasn't that over the top about Canada. Was I?
Yep, you sure were, Mia, you sure were.
Oh, maybe I was. Oh well, I might have been a few years early in my excitement and my winning predictions for them. But today, I am so very proud of them and what they have accomplished so far at the 2024 America's COPA Cup.
Let's share with our cartoon friends Mia the super awesome path of the Canada's national men's soccer team results over the past few weeks at the COPA Cup.
Yes, let's do that. You know, their journey so far has been truly amazing. A little more than a month ago, this team was in a little bit of disarray because it was under new coaching leadership of Jesse Marsch, a 50-year-old American who had a very different vision and playing approach for the team.
Yes, he did. He brought in a completely different approach, mental attitude, and system that could be summarized by
defense first.
Yes, stop the other team from scoring, look after your own end of the soccer pitch, and be responsible and accountable for your space and the ball possession, especially when you have it.
Exactly. And during their pre-tournament friendlies against the powerful Dutch and French teams, they grew to understand and implement the new Jesse Marsch approach reasonably well.
Yes, they did. However, when they entered into their first game of their Group A play, it was unfortunately against the number 1 team in the world, Argentina. They played well, but they still lost 2-0. In truth, Argentina is just more skilled and a more experienced team than the Canadian squad.
Yes, they are, and that result did not surprise me. But the next game against Peru, Yahoo! They delivered their first win in Copa Group play, as well as their first goal by the magnificent Jonathan David.
It was a beaut of a goal, and I think a major turning point for the squad.
Agree. I think they learned that they would have a very strong chance of advancing out of their group play by performing similarly against Chile's national soccer team in their final group game.
And that's exactly what they did. By playing strong defense, they held the Chilean team to a 0-0 draw.
Wasn't that a beautiful game, Scott?
Well, Mia, you know how I feel about scoreless games in group play. I think I expressed that very clearly in our World Cup coverage in 2022.
Yes, I remember, Scott.
But this game had a little more spark to it, and I think it was because Canada made soccer history for themselves by advancing out of group play for the first time ever in a significant international tournament.
True, Scott. That 0-0 draw with Chile was a thing of beauty for Canada and for Canada soccer.
Canada was moving onwards to the quarter-finals of the COPA Cup, for the first time, against the very strong Venezuela team, the Group B champions. Venezuela is a powerful soccer team, as they crushed their opponents in all of their group play. They won all 3 games in their Group B play, and were now ready to take on the second-place team from Group A, Canada.
Yes, Venezuela is a very strong team, but Canada, the team that makes my heart sing, are pretty good too. The question to me, Scott, was, can Canada score goals? They only scored 1 goal in all of their Group A play. Could they even score against Venezuela in the quarterfinals?
Let me tell you, Mia, the Canada men's soccer team played with a slightly different, and more aggressive soccer approach, in the winner-take-all quarterfinal game, opposed to their previous Defensive group play matches. They were extremely offensively minded, and created at least 5 super-duper solid chances for goals, during the match against Venezuela. It was fantastic to watch, but unfortunately, they only capitalized on one of those creative chances they made.
You bring up a good point, Scott. They created chances, but did not bury them into the net. And unfortunately, they had one little blip defensively, to allow the Venezuela team to tie Canada after regulation time.
That's when the heart-pounding excitement of the game-defining shootout commenced.
I could barely watch the shootout, Scott, but you know me, of course I did.
Well, good thing you watched, Mia, as you saw and experienced Canadian soccer history. Canada came through to defeat Venezuela in the shootout, to advance to the semi-final match.
It was brilliant, though I have to say it was very sad to see most of the fans at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, so dismayed, and even crying, at the end of the match.
True, but Mia, you do realize, there can only be one winner.
And Canada, it was. Now the world sees what I saw, in this exciting young soccer team from 2022 World Cup.
Well, now Canada, as winners of the quarter-final match against Venezuela, have to move on to the semi-final match against the number 1 ranked team in the world, Argentina.
Argentina, again?
Yes, but if you want to be the best in the world, you have to play the best.
Well, I guess that makes sense. But does Canada even have a chance against Argentina?
You know the odds are stacked up against Canada. Yes, they are really stacked up against them. But yes, there is a very slight chance they could pull off a major upset, but in reality, not very likely.
Well, Scott, you've made my day because you said there is a chance, and just like a famous Canadian actor, Jim Carrey, once said in a movie called Dumb and Dumber, despite having a 1 in a million chance of winning something, he said, so you're telling me, there's a chance.
Yep, Mia, they have a chance.
You heard it here first, SOCKEY TALKIE fans, Canada has a chance.
Oh brother. Bye, soccer fans.